There's a concern that this meeting on March 7th would be a precursor for a deeper U.S. military presence in Trinidad and Tobago. What's your response to that?
I want you to maybe not. I can't preempt what will happen at that meeting. But what I want to remind you, it was the former Prime Minister who signed the SOFA agreement, which allows for that. I don't know why it is a big issue. When that happened, this agreement was already signed when I inherited the governance of the country, not inherited, but you know what I mean.
That is the first lie, because the UNC government signed a new SOFA agreement with the United States government when they came into power.
So that SOFA had already been signed.
So are you saying we are at the mercy of the U.S.?
We are not at the mercy of anyone except the good Lord. We are not at the mercy of anyone except the good Lord. And the other ones I'm at the mercy of is the people of Trinidad and Tobago. And I will do what I think best, of course, with the advice of the rest of my cabinet and other stakeholders. So we are not at the mercy. We can say no, we can say yes, but
People of Trinidad and Tobago resoundingly say no.
Yes, but we are operating within the law. I don't know why we were such a big noise, because a few people were here from the U.S. military in Tobago with the radar. You know, they're paying $3 million a day for that radar. Not us. They are paying that. Therefore, they kept some of their military personnel there to ensure that the radar would be safe, it would be able to continue working, it would not be sabotaged, or any such matters.
How many of them are here?
I still can't say how many, because they're leaving in groups, and I'm told somewhere in March, once they with the Tobago, sometime in March they are proposing to leave.
Are you in agreement with SOFA agreement? Are you concerned about it, or do you accept all
It's part of our law, legal framework at this time. Should we be unhappy with it, we can always come back to change it. Thus far, it has worked well for us in certain parts of it. There's a lot of it that still has not been used, but I think it's a concern with U.S. military personnel, being here, which is within the structuring and thinking of that SOFA agreement.
In terms of the last number that you would have been given to as head of the National Security Council, you know how many U.S. military personnel we have in Trinidad and Tobago?
I just cannot say. I've been out for a couple of days. I really cannot say. But it wasn't a massive amount. Even from the start, there was never a massive amount of U.S. military here in Tobago or anywhere else to cause concern. I don't know if you saw any of them. Have you seen any of them?
In Tobago.
Yes.
In Tobago. Yeah, I know
It's not a massive amount, to the best of my memory.
In your address at the opening ceremony.
I haven't seen one of them. So I'm asking anybody here. You kind of might know who they are because how they look. They don't look like you or me or you or you or you. They have a different look. They're Americans.
In your address at the opening ceremony, when you thanked President Trump and Secretary Rubio and the U.S. military for helping this country, and you said it's something that you will do again if you need to.
I have to, yes. Yes, certainly. I have no regrets. Not one Trini person has been injured or otherwise treated badly by the presence of the U.S. military here. In fact, as I've said, our murders came down by 42%, which is 257 less murders. Why can't we be happy with that? Now, I know a lot of people were scared. Venezuela dropped bombs on us and a war. No war broke out. No war. Nothing came to hit us from Venezuela.
People were saying that dropping murders has more to do with the SOE than
It's both. And then the drugs. Did you realize that the supply dried up as well? TTPS told us the supply of all those hard drugs had dried up, and the price of whatever that was still being coming in, the prices had gone right up. I don't know, I don't use any of that, and I don't buy any, but this is what the TTPS had advised.
I will look at these. What authority, very quickly, what authority do the U.S. military personnel, no matter, I know you don't know how many are here, but those military people here, do they have authority over Trinidad and Tobago citizens, and are they operating under?
No, you mean to lock up TTP? No. Whatever they may, from their intelligence that they may gather, my understanding and what I've been told is that they will advise the TTPS, who will then pursue. There was a drug bust not too long ago. It was their intelligence that allowed our TTPS to go in. So they can't come and arrest you unless if you coffin them down or something, and if you're being trying to injure them.
On the issue of national security, Madam Prime Minister, are you perhaps concerned about the recent upsurge or uptick in murders? We would have recorded a triple fatality just today. Are there concerns with that?
Very serious concerns. I intend to convene another meeting of the National Security Council. We'll discuss that matter and see what other strategies we can use. It is regrettable that the president's senators and the opposition senators failed to support the Zozo bill. I met Prime Minister Holness there, and he was very happy with what they've been able to do with the Zozo bill. But there are other things we can do, and when the NSC meets, we will be having that discussion.
My fellow citizens, I stand before you today not with diplomatic pleasantries, not with the measured tones of political decorum, but with the fire of righteous anger burning in my chest. Because what is being done to our nation right now, in our name, is nothing short of a betrayal. Let me be absolutely clear. I hate what is happening with the intensity of 1,000 suns. We have a Prime Minister, Kamala Persad-Bissessar, who is preparing to fly to Washington next week to meet with Donald Trump. And what is she offering him as a gift? She is offering him our sovereignty. She is dangling the possibility of a further United States military presence right here in Trinidad and Tobago. When asked directly whether she would allow more U.S. military personnel to be stationed in our country, her response was wishy-washy, cowardly, maybe, maybe not. Maybe she will sign away our neutrality. Maybe she will turn our homeland into a forward operating base for the American empire. Maybe she will decide that our children's future is worth trading for whatever backroom deal she thinks she's getting. And then she has the audacity to try to soothe us with meaningless platitude. She says, oh, but they will have no authority over our citizens, as if that matters. As if the concern is about a U.S. soldier writing a traffic ticket in San Fernando. The concern is that she is painting a massive glowing bullseye on the back of every man, woman, and child in this nation. Let me ask you a simple question. Does anyone here believe that if a conflict erupts between the United States and China, a conflict that military analysts have been warned about for years, that a U.S. military installation on Trinidadian soil will be left alone? Does anyone believe that an ICBM launched from China, which would take approximately 30 to 40 minutes to reach Trinidad, would somehow fly above our islands out of respect for our neutrality? The answer is no, it would not. We would become a target. Not because we did anything wrong, not because we have a quarrel with anyone, but because our leader volunteered us to be a launching pad for a foreign power. This is not 1941. The world has changed. The nature of warfare has changed. And any leader in 2026 who does not understand that placing foreign military bases on their soil makes you a legitimate target in a greater power conflict is either dangerously uninformed or willfully reckless. Just look at what is happening right now in the Middle East with Iran. Every forward military base in that region is getting bombed to smithereens right now as we speak. The leadership in China is not going to sell out like the Venezuelans did. And frankly, I am tired of the excuses. I am tired of hearing that this is just how politics works. I'm tired of people saying, well, we have to maintain the relationship with the United States. Maintain a relationship? This is not a relationship. A relationship involves two partners who respect each other. What the Prime Minister is offering is servitude. She is turning Trinidad and Tobago into a lapdog for the U.S. empire, wagging our tail, hoping for a pat on the head while the rest of the Caribbean looks on in dismay, knowing that our foolishness threatens the entire region. We are supposed to be a leader in CARICOM. We are supposed to be a voice for the sovereignty of small island nations. Instead, we are becoming a cautionary tale. And the worst part, the most infuriating, gut-wrenching part, you all have the power to stop this. The people of Trinidad and Tobago have the power to remove her from office. You have the mechanisms, the democratic rights, the constitutional authority to say no more. And yet there is this fear, this hesitation, this apathy that grips us when we should be storming the gates. I did not vote for this. I should not sign up to have my homeland turned into a military outpost. I did not agree to have my children grow up in a country that is a potential flashpoint for a war between giants. How dare she? How dare she make this decision without a national referendum? How dare she float this idea like it's a casual dinner menu? Maybe military base, maybe not. As if she's deciding between roti and pilau. Is she blasted drunk on a permanent basis? has the pursuit of photo opportunities with world leaders completely obliterated any sense of loyalty to the people who elected her, the people of Trinidad and Tobago. Because let me tell you what sobriety looks like. Sobriety looks like a prime minister who stands up and says, Trinidad and Tobago is a sovereign nation. We will cooperate on trade, we will cooperate on security cooperation against transnational crime, but we will not host foreign military bases that compromise our neutrality and endanger our citizens. Sobriety looks like a leader who understands that our greatest strength is not our ability to bend the knee, but our ability to stand on our own 2 feet. This is shameful. Truly, deeply, historically shameful. And so I'm calling on every citizen who hears my voice today, do not be silent. Do not be scared. Call your members of parliament. March on the parliament. Make it clear that we will not accept a bullseye on our home. Tell the prime minister before she boards that plane to Washington, you do not have our permission. You do not have our blessing. And if you sign us up for this empire's wars, you will find that the intensity of our opposition burns with the heat of 1,000 suns. Thank you.